here. Well, please subscribe to my channel, Phil TMNT 22. Just Phil TMNT. I almost said my PlayStation name, but that's my name. Phil Eep. Phil Eep. And today we're going to talk about how Luke Skywalker, in my opinion, the best Jedi ever, even though they made Luke a grumpy old man in the Last Jedi, but still, in my opinion, he is the best Jedi ever. He's at least my favorite Jedi. The best Jedi ever is debatable, but we're going to talk about how my favorite Jedi, Luke Skywalker, was confirmed to be in Star Wars Episode 9. Whatever the hell the title's going to be. And come on, guys. Is it really a surprise? It's not a surprise to me. I expected Luke to return in Episode 9. Like, before I saw The Last Jedi, I expected Luke, regardless if he was going to die or not in The Last Jedi, I expected Luke to be in Episode 9 regardless. Preferably in flesh form, preferably alive. But I kind of figured Luke was going to be in Episode 9 now that Episode 8 decided to introduce flashbacks in any trilogy. Luke could be in a flashback for Episode 9, but regardless, I expected Luke Skywalker to come back in some way. Unfortunately, he's gonna come back as a Force Ghost, and I say unfortunately because the way they decided to kill Luke off was extremely bogus. I'm still mad about that. And hopefully, J.J. Abrams will have more respect for Luke than Rian Johnson did. I mean, I didn't mind the grumpy old Luke, and I get to why in a second. My favorite part for Luke, outside of the scene where Yoda appeared, because Yoda gave Luke some hope, kind of sparked the old Luke that we all know and love back. I know you're not going on my bed anymore. I love you, but no. But it's the scene where Luke made the point where now the Jedi are extinct, they're romanticized and stuff like that. They're romanticized, glorified, and how in their prime, they blindly let Darth Sidious rise to power and nearly wipe them out and take control of the galaxy pretty much. That's my favorite scene because he does make a pretty good point there. And then Rey said, "Bitch, please. But you were the Jedi who believed in Darth Vader there was good in him, so don't give me that shit." That's pretty much the only reason why that's my favorite scene. Even though she didn't do cursing in that case. And she didn't say, "Bitch, please, don't give me that bullshit." But get going. Good boy. But yeah, that scene is my favorite scene because Luke was kind of focusing on the negative parts of the Jedi, and then Rey, using Luke as example, was looking at the positive side. And that was a pretty nice debate. But the reason why I was okay with the grumpy old Luke is because Luke, we still had episode 9. We still had a movie where we could have seen the old Luke in that movie. And we still can, unfortunately, as Force Ghost. I mean, we saw a hint of him towards the end of the movie, but I have a feeling that was like besides like like a nostalgic moment. I have a feeling that's why Yoda was in. That's why Ryan Johnson put Yoda in the movie, which was a good choice, by the way. So he can give Luke hope, and I feel like that is what happened. And I feel like, yeah, it did make sense that Luke was fighting Kylo Ren as a force projection to give that resistance time to escape. That does make sense, but I was kind of okay with grumpy old Luke, even though it would be nice to see the more positive Luke, the more Luke that we met in the original trilogies to come back for like at least half of the movie. At the very least half of the movie. But he was only there for like the positive Luke was only there for like 8 minutes. And then he died, which I would have been mad either way if he died, but I would have gotten over it if they didn't have him die like the most pathetic way. Oh, oh, I'm let me auto project fight with you. And then I'm gonna let you cut my force projection off. See you around, kid. And then he disappears, flies back, sits on the pedestal to the while looking at the sunset and dies. I would be okay with it, but I would have had him looking at the sunset and then still be kind of exhausted and then passing out. That would have been like the only part I would have changed in that scene. Preferably, well, I don't. I wouldn't mind seeing the same fight projection, because in this book, which is technically canon, the Jedi Path, where is it? This is one of the few things I'm going to defend Ryan Johnson on. If I can find the damn page. Hold on. Because it does say that Jedi can use force projections. There we go. It's this page. I don't know if you can see the picture well. And it says doppelganger. Permits a Jedi to create short-lived duplicates of himself or herself or an external object that is visually indistinguishable from the real thing. Those who have perfected this ability can create phantoms of any person of their choosing, or trick an enemy into seeing more objects, such as droids, than are actually present. And then below the picture says doppelganger is the effective technique for confusing and misleading an opponent. That's going to be one of the few things I'll defend Ryan Johnson on. Still have no respect for the man, only because he, besides accepting criticism of his movie, which if you're going to be an artist in any way, and I do believe being a producer is being an artist in a form, because you're creating something from your own mind. That's part of art. So, and good artist expects not only uh, good reviews on their art, they expect critiques, bad reviews, haters. And what I mean by haters is people who will just dislike a movie just to dislike a movie. They don't care about the story mode or line. They just dislike the movie just for the sole purpose of disliking it. That's my definition in this case about being a hater in this scenario. Now, there are critics who dislike the movie because they got a character wrong that they dislike, or they might dislike the way you took that character, it's more like it, or they just dislike the movie because of the story, or it might be multiple reasons. And Ryan Johnson, besides saying, okay, I respect your guys' critiques, he's saying pretty much, oh, fuck you, you don't know what you're talking about. My movie, The Last Jedi, is a piece, it's a wonderful piece of art. If you dislike it, you're a bleep. I was trying to contain the cursing, that's why I said bleep. And then J.J. Abrams didn't help by calling, I think it was J.J. Abrams called, oh, just like The Last Jedi, yeah, racist, sexist, middle-aged white man. It was just also, uh, insulting. But, to be honest, like I said earlier in this vid, or stream, I expected Luke, regardless if he was going to die or live, I was expecting Luke to come back either as a Force Ghost or him still living. And now after seeing The Last Jedi and how it was like technically the first episode in a trilogy to introduce a flashback, even though Rogue One was technically the first Star Wars movie to introduce flashbacks, after watching The Last Jedi and how it had a flashback in it, or like two, hey Rim, how are you, Rim? I honestly expected Luke Skywalker. Well, now I expect Luke Skywalker is going to be coming back. Well, let's just pretend The Last Jedi hasn't come out. I expect Luke. I'm pretty good. I kind of expect. Yeah, but like I said, let's pretend The Last Jedi hasn't come out. And let's pretend we assumed. Well, let's not try to say we assumed anything, assuming that The Last Jedi didn't come out yet. I kind of expected, which I guess you can say assumed, Luke Skywalker to be in Episode 9. Regardless if they were going to kill him off in Episode 8, where he'll be a Force Ghost in Episode 9, or they were going to keep him living, he can come back in Episode 9 alive, or they can, now after Jedi, and now I had like 3 flashbacks, I feel like, and thank you for the like. Luke Skywalker can also be in a flashback, which kind of counts as him alive, but not really, because he's technically still dead. They're just going back in time. But you get my point. You get my point. So, am I shocked to hear that Luke Skywalker was confirmed in Episode 9, whatever the title's gonna be? Not really. Only because, like I said, like 4 times already, I expected that. Am I excited for that? Yes. Why? Because it's my favorite Jedi. Am I happy he's going to come back as Force Ghost or as a flashback? I mean, I'm more excited for the Force Ghost thing than the flashback, but still excited. Preferred he would have lived. Preferred in episode 9 he would have had a epic death scene. Kinda like Obi-Wan had. Even though, I don't know if you would, in my opinion, Obi-Wan had an epic death scene. I thought Order 66 was an epic death scene. Only because it shows you that how the Jedi got extinguished. I thought, oh yeah, it was a death scene. I thought Qui-Gon Jinn's death was epic. I also thought Han Solo's death was epic because even though I kind of expected that when the scene was kind of happening when I saw the movie, I also did expect it at the same time, which does make sense. So I preferred Luke's death scene to be in episode 9, or it to be more epic than it was in The Last Jedi. But like I said, I'm not surprised, and yet I'm excited that Luke Skywalker was confirmed to be in episode 9. I just hope they will treat Luke with more respect than Ryan Johnson did, and have the Luke we all know and love from the almost the prequels, original trilogy to come back into episode 9, even though it's gonna be the Force Ghost. So what do you guys think? Are you guys excited? Not excited? Uh and what do you guys want to see from the direction they take Luke in episode 9? Leave a comment below, and I don't know why my flight, so I'm going to stop in 3, 2, may the force be with you.